Hey y'all, it's Trent Moore back here again. And one thing that I've been thinking about recently is therapy. Now, therapy is something that has become a craze over the past few years, specifically in this era, as I like to say, this era of mental health. When it comes to mental health, there are certain things that I like, there are certain things that I don't like about this era of mental health. In other words, this trend, this just current craze. And that's why I've said at certain times, why is it now that mental health is becoming so much more relevant than ever, as if it never existed in the first place? And that's the one thing that I've really not liked too much about the mental health craze. And that's something that if you want me to really make a completely different video about, I can. I've already been planning on doing it for quite a while. I just never got to it yet. But that's what I've always said is kind of rubbed me the wrong way when it comes to mental health. Nevertheless, what I have to say about mental health is that one of the aspects of mental health is therapy. And therapy is something that has become just as relevant over the past few years as well. And the thing about therapy is that I do have some takes on it that some people may not like about that as well. I do feel like therapy is something that can be beneficial, but I don't feel like everyone needs therapy. You know, I feel like the reality, oh my gosh, excuse me. I feel like the reality of therapy is that sometimes we see it as only talking to a therapist, and I feel like that is what needs to be broken. This concept of just therapy is just talking to this person, it's talking to this person who's qualified to do so. Because if we think about it, there are certain people who may even be more qualified than actual therapists who have spent all their years in schooling, all their years in education just to become a therapist. Crazy, right? But then you may talk to this other person who's totally not a therapist, and it feels like they're going to give you a lot more relief about life than an actual therapist would. Isn't that something, right? But then I feel like one of the things about therapy that's a huge misconception as well is that therapy is just more than just talking to a therapist. I've said personally in a conversation, a very open conversation quite a while ago, I said that therapy can be found in really a variety of ways. It can be found through many different tools and many different areas of life. Therapy can be exercise, which was my example. Like I love to exercise, I love to work out. That's my therapy. And so to a certain extent, I maybe could kind of fine tune my statement a little bit. Maybe everyone does need therapy, but in their own way. And that could be definitely another video that I'll definitely write down. I need to write that down because I think that's a good video idea because therapy is something that is sometimes too generalized instead of openly talked about in a variety of ways. And so to continue about to what I was saying, or back to what I was saying, excuse me. The thing about therapy is that therapy, in my opinion, can be many different things. Art, drawing, whatnot, this and that. But I feel like recently, over the past few, months, what I've noticed for me is that another therapy has been music. And so I like to say music is therapy. Music is it's a very interesting thing in a nutshell. But I feel like music is so therapeutic because it's almost a form of escape. The same way that video games for certain people are simply a form of escape from reality into a whole new world, into a whole new dimension. I feel like it's the same thing with music because music is really connected to our minds. It's connected to our memories, right? Music is one of those things that we can listen to, and then years later on down the line, we can remember, oh man, this form of music or this track or this song specifically connects to me so deeply, or I resonate with it so deeply because XYZ, or I listened to it with my father before this happened, or I listened with this, or to this with my mother before that happened, right? And I feel like that's the reason why music is therapy. We have such a strong connection to it. Even though music is not a physical person, music is much more of a concept. It's an idea, right? It's a thing that we use. It's a thing that we make. It's a thing that we create. And, when it comes to me, I listen to a variety of music, y'all. For you all that don't know, I listen to classical music. I listen to heavy metal, rock, hip hop, R&B, rap, country. I think I already said classical. I listen to some K-pop. I got even into a little bit of J-pop. So even for, when it comes to K-pop, yeah, I do listen to that, Um, I listen to, what else do I listen to? 60s music, 70s music, 80s music, 90s music, the 2000s. I listen to, man, I listen to, what else do I listen to off the back of my head? Mm, yeah, pop. I listen to just about everything. Yeah. And the reason why is because, I'm also a song leader for y'all that don't know. So I'm used to really understanding music. And I've always felt like one thing about music is that listening to as many genres as possible helps you really understand music, because music to a certain extent is basic. But at the same time, music can be just as complex as other things as well. But all in all, I think what makes music therapeutic is it just gives a feeling. It can be stress relieving. It can be euphoric. It can, certain notes, certain voices, they just give you certain reactions. They make you feel a little bit of this. They make you feel a little bit of that. They make you feel a little happy, a little mellow, a little sad, a little high, a little low. And that's the reality of music. Music it's therapeutic. I don't really know much else to say. And that's really the point. And that's what I've noticed throughout my past few months when I've had those rough moments or when I've had those struggles. I just turn on some music and it's like everything gets better. And I think that's the thing. Even music, and I've recently talked about productivity. Music helps with productivity. Sometimes certain people like to study with music. They like to do their homework with music. Some people like to take tests with music. Some people like to exercise with music. It's strange that music is really a part of our everyday lives. I mean, you almost can't go a single day without listening to it. And, I will say it is a little bit different if you are deaf, or if you're hard of hearing. That's understandable. But for you all that have ears, that you can fully utilize, you probably understand and probably realize over time that you can't really escape music. I think about tomorrow, like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to go to work, Lord's will. And what am I going to hear for 8 hours? Music. Literally. I work at Walgreens, so yeah. Even when it comes to that, music has sometimes this psychological aspect of it, to coerce people into buying more products or into buying this, buying that, or being interested in this or being interested in that. Music has influence, it influences people in certain ways. But all in all, I think that's the thing. It seems to be that over the past few years and just in general, it seems like music in all of our lifetimes, music has been therapeutic. It's been there for us. When we're feeling down, we put this music on and it's like our day gets better. Or we feel a little lazy, if we feel a little tired, we put this music on to hype us up and to get energized. But all in all, music is therapy. I think that's a pretty strong, solid statement to make, and pretty truthful statement at that as well. Um, so yeah, and the irony is that I'm probably gonna listen to some music in a little bit. I even know tomorrow when I'm cutting my brother's hair, Lord's will, I'll probably put on some music. It's just interesting. Music is something that also, I mean, I just did like 7 freestyles that you're probably gonna hear. That's another thing. And for some of you all, maybe it might be therapeutic, maybe it won't be. And that's completely fine. It is what it is. But all I have to say is at the end of the day, I will say, despite how many forms of therapy that there are, and all the many ways that you can provide therapy or do therapy, however you want to describe it, turn on some music, write some music, make some music, create some music, buy some music, sell some music. Music is therapy. Music is therapeutic. So, Shirts More back here again. Hope you all enjoyed the video. I'll see you all later. Peace.